Everyone tells you it's never too late to become a doctor. They tell you that medicine is a calling, that your maturity is an asset, and that admissions committees love life experience. But if you're thinking about switching careers in your 30s or 40s, you aren't looking for inspiration. You're looking for data. You need to know, if you spend the next 4 to 7 years of your life sacrificing your income, your nights, and your family time, will residency programs look at your age and reject you anyway? What does the hard data actually say about match rates for older applicants? Let's break down the reality of the residency match rate for non-traditional, mature medical graduates. First, let's look at the broad numbers. Every year, the National Resident Matching Program, or NRMP, publishes massive data sets. On paper, the overall match rate for U.S. allopathic MD seniors consistently hovers around 93.5%. For osteopathic DO seniors, it's right around 93.2%. Those peak numbers are heavily driven by traditional 26-year-old applicants who went straight through college, took 0 gap years, and have no historical professional anomalies on their records. When you segment the data by age, a subtle, critical shift occurs. Studies tracking older medical graduates show that while the vast majority do match successfully, the gap widens depending on 2 critical factors: the specialty you choose and how you choose to frame your past. This brings us to the first truth. Programmatic bias is real, but it's rarely about blatant, illegal age discrimination. It's about longevity, stamina, and institutional return on investment. If a surgical residency requires 7 years of 80-hour work weeks, a program director is looking at a 24-year-old as a long-term investment for the academic institution. They are calculating decades of future clinical practice, research output, and institutional prestige. If you graduate at 40, you simply have fewer years of peak practice ahead of you. Because of this, ultra-competitive procedural specialties like orthopedic surgery, neurosurgery, plastic surgery, and dermatology have a statistically lower match rate for older graduates. In fact, if you look at specialty-specific data, the match rate for DO seniors in orthopedic surgery sits around 43% compared to 68% for MDs, and that gap widens further for older applicants across both degrees. Furthermore, program directors look at the logistical reality of your life. A traditional 20-something student often has fewer external responsibilities. They can pack 2 suitcases, move across the country, and survive on a modest resident stipend without a second thought. A mature graduate, however, may have a spouse, children, a mortgage, or elderly parents. This means your geographical flexibility during the residency match is highly restricted. If you can only rank programs in a single metropolitan area because your family is deeply rooted there, you drastically lower your statistical probability of matching. It isn't always your chronological age that drops the match rate. It is the structural compromise you have to make for your personal life. However, the story completely flips when we look at primary care, internal medicine, psychiatry, and family medicine. In these fields, maturity isn't just accepted, it is actively preferred. Program directors in family medicine and psychiatry frequently report that older residents possess superior communication skills, higher emotional intelligence, and a stabilization in life that traditional students simply haven't developed yet. Your ability to manage a crisis, speak to a suffering patient, and handle professional hierarchy without ego makes you an exceptionally safe bet. You have already managed difficult bosses, resolved corporate or workplace conflicts, and faced real-world financial stress. To a residency director running a high-volume clinic, that means you require less emotional hand-holding and will adapt to the workplace environment much faster than a 26-year-old who has never held a full-time job. So, how do you protect your match rate if you are entering this game later in life? You must follow a 3-step tactical strategy. Step 1, curate your residency list early. During your clinical rotations in your 3rd year, you need to actively screen programs. Look for residency cohorts that already include non-traditional residents. Look at their public rosters. If a program's roster is entirely 20-somethings from elite undergrads, pivot your attention elsewhere. Step 2, own your timeline. In your residency interviews and personal statements, do not apologize for your age or treat it like a liability. Frame your previous career, whether you were a teacher, an engineer, a business manager, or an entrepreneur, as a masterclass in operational efficiency, patient interaction, and problem solving. You are not a late bloomer. You are a multidimensionally qualified professional who is choosing medicine with absolute certainty. Step 3, maximize your board scores. While your life experience is a massive asset, it cannot substitute for objective performance. A stellar score on your USMLE Step 2 CK completely neutralizes any lingering doubts about your academic stamina or your ability to pass the medical board exams. Program directors use board scores as a safety filter. If you pass that filter, your maturity will do the rest of the heavy lifting. Becoming a physician later in life is an incredible, viable path. The data proves the door is open, but you must walk through it with a highly calculated, objective strategy. If you are a career changer navigating the pre-med or medical school landscape, subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below with your current age and the career you are leaving behind. Let's build this roadmap together. See you in the next video.